Hello, everybody. Let me know that you can hear me, that I am coming in loud and clear. Welcome, welcome to our Thursday night workshop. It's been a while for me. These past 2 weeks, I've been moving into a new apartment, and today is finally everything is settled. Everything is loaded into the new apartment, and I'm feeling really good for new beginnings. Got rid of a lot of stuff. So yeah, a little life update for you guys who know me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alicia, and I've been doing these workshops with 99 since 2020. So it's been a while. This is one of the newer workshops that has come out. We rolled it out last year. So if you've already been to this workshop, welcome back. And if it's your first time, welcome. Just some housekeeping things for the format of the Zoom tonight. If it is your first time, you are not on camera, so I don't get to see your beautiful face, but I can read and communicate with you guys through the Q&A section. So while we wait for more people to join us, everyone go ahead and see if you can find the Q&A section and chat me a little intro about yourself, whether you are a model, if you are an actor, how long you've been with 99, where you're tuning in from, and what you hope to learn from tonight's workshop. This is a fun workshop because there's a little game at the end. So stay tuned for that. We do a lot of activities in my workshops. And while I am coming from the perspective of my modeling career since 2016, this is also for actors too. I did take some acting classes at the very beginning of my career, and right now I'm just really focused on modeling. Um, some fun news for you guys. I recently spotted myself in Target in the Ava and Viv section. I flew to New York and did a photo shoot for them back in November, and there should be one more image coming out soon. So yeah, I've been busy. And welcome, welcome to all the new people who just joined on. Looking forward to reading your comments in the Q&A section. We're just doing a brief introduction. So we'll get started in about 3 minutes. Go ahead and type in who you are, where you're from, what you're hoping to learn from tonight. And my name is Alicia. For those of you just joining, I've been a model of 9 years, got my start in 2016. And this workshop is funny because had I been teaching it in 2016, this would not have been a thing because back before COVID, everything was done in person. From what I've learned about 99, these workshops used to be offered in person too, but everything kind of went digital after 2020. A lot of people were staying home and realized that we could have meetings through this wonderful app called Zoom. And so a lot of production companies kind of realized the same thing, that they didn't have to have a casting or a go see or a call back and wait for, 30 girls, 30 guys to show up for a role. They could just post the role online and view submissions, and everything really is kind of done online nowadays. One thing that is true and has always been true is the digitals portion. Back in the day, they used to snap little Polaroids of models when they showed up for castings, and that was basically what they called Polaroids back then, but it's kind of evolved into now being called digitals because we have our phones and we have digital cameras that can produce these crisp, sharp images like this one right here. I still love this image. This was a digital that I took back in, gosh, I want to say 2021. It's been a long time. So I'll be showing you some digitals of myself throughout the workshop so we can get some visual idea of what I'm talking about and how I am practicing what I'm preaching when it comes to digitals. Let me see what you guys are saying. Wisconsin. Hello, Pennsylvania. Actors, voice acting. That's a great field. Just retired. Congratulations. Rhode Island. Hi, Denise. How's that snow, everybody? I'm tuning in from South Florida, by the way, but I'm originally from Connecticut and I got my start in New York City as a beginner. It was very scary for me. A lot of you guys, some of you guys know my story. Come a long way since then. Thank you everybody for your introductions. I'm very happy to have you all here. Looks like we have 22 ready to learn, ready to participate. So grab a notepad if you'd like, take notes, and let's get started. So I feel like a very common question that beginners always have, or even myself, at any stage of the game in this industry, if you're modeling or acting, at some point, you're going to say, how on earth can I get more work? Like I want to work. I'm ready. I want to act. I want to sing. I want to model. And one thing that you can do, I mean, there's many different things. Come to my workshops to find out, but a strong set of digitals is going to be phase one, and it's never going to go away because we need to update our digitals often, and we need to show that progression just like we do with our portfolios, with our resumes, that we're constantly building and getting better, working on our camera presence, our poses. And yes, like I explained in the intro, a lot of casting directors and agents meet you through your images. So gone are the days where you have to take, a subway to the 15th floor to go to a casting for 5 minutes to meet people. They just want to see some images of you, some digitals, possibly some self-tapes. This was taken, let's see, March of last year, and it's no longer relevant because for whatever reason, I was going through a dye my hair black phase. So these are no longer relevant, but at the time they were. So yeah, what are digitals? Like I explained earlier, Polaroids. Everyone knows what a Polaroid camera is, but they're now called digitals. And these are images that are going to represent you in your most current and natural state. Because a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? You know the saying. And these are used for castings, jobs, and agency submissions. So if there's an agency that you really want to work with, that you want to be signed with, they're going to request, if you go on any agency website, they're going to request a set of digitals on you. And if you're looking to book work, if you're already with an agency, a lot of jobs and productions are going to request current digitals of yourself. These are my very first digitals in 2018. So let's see, this at this point I had been modeling a little bit in New York City, and I had flown down to Miami to meet with an agency to see if we could work together. And after we had our little meet and greet and got to know each other, again, phase one, step one, he said, let's get some digitals on you. Pulls out a camera. I'm dressed for the occasion, black on black, or we'll go over wardrobe a little bit more extensively as we go on. But as you can see, this was the agent's first question, first step for me is to get digitals on me so that he has these images so he can send them out to clients and say, we've got this talent, Alecia. She's this size, she's this height, and she is in Miami now. Anything going on? What work do we have for her? So without these, it's very difficult to book work. So right into the nitty-gritty because when you are first beginning, I know for me, when I first was beginning modeling, like someone would pull out a camera and I would just kind of freeze a little bit. And it's still kind of strange to me that I ever got into modeling because growing up, I did not like my picture taken. But I kind of just treated it as like a fear I had to get over, some sort of crutch I had to do away with, and wanted to get really comfortable. And that's kind of why I took acting classes too, because I knew that I needed to be comfortable behind the camera. How was I going to do that? You just have to throw yourself in there, but there is a technique to it. We go over posing a lot in some portfolio building workshops that I offer. But for digitals, it's all about movement and good posture. So sometimes I forget to tighten my core. Sometimes I forget to put my shoulders back. But that, even though it feels unnatural, it's going to give you the best possible shape of to present on camera. I mean, there's a lot that people can see when you're in person, and they might get a more realistic idea of what you look like and stuff. But for presenting on camera, there's kind of an art to it. So there's the eye contact to the camera, and then there's kind of looking off camera as well, which I'll show you some examples. Variations of angles, stances, hands. Biggest thing for me was to learn how to shift my weight. So we all have weight that's distributed evenly on both of our hips. So see what happens when you pop one hip out and you pop the other hip out. You step forward, you step backwards, hands up, hands in pockets. You're just trying to come across as like, I'm the cool guy, I'm the cool girl, you want to hire me, and this is me unapologetically. So you have to really relax your face and kind of get into that mode. Smizing, if anybody knows what a smize is, find that raise hand feature and let me know. But that's like when we're not just gonna look blankly at the camera. We're gonna actually put some oomph into our eyes. So the way that they say that you can learn how to smize is if everybody right now smiles and see how it affects your eyes, but then lose the smile and keep that muscle tension in your eyes and then kind of make that gaze that's like, okay, I'm the model, I'm the actor that you guys need because I can sell whatever with these eyes, right? All about that confidence. So, some basics of a great digital: black or white fitted top, fitted jeans. We don't want to go in and wear like, a bright pink striped, anything with a logo on it. It's very distracting. So, we really just want to dial it back to basics. It's funny because I said no jewelry of any kind, but these are my most recent digitals, and I took a little chance and I put a little gold hoop in. I don't wear jewelry at all, but I'm just saying if you're the type of person who wears a lot of jewelry, it you have to consider whether or not it's going to be distracting. So if it's super simple and it's an expression of your style, then by all means wear your jewelry. But basic and blank canvas is really the way that we want to go towards. Other traditional wardrobe is going to be swimwear, lingerie, or athletic wear. As you can see, I'm wearing swimwear here. I'm based out of Miami. There's a lot of clients that come down here to shoot swim, so it's really important that I have digitals in swimwear. Hair styled nicely, which I feel like is obvious. My hair is crazy all the time, so it's really hard to keep it under control. So if you need help or you need to just pay attention to how your flyaways are looking and all of that, makeup should be very, very minimal. I always thought that maybe I shouldn't wear any makeup to get my digitals done, but I got it clarified for me once that you can wear makeup. It just has to be very, very, very light. And let me know if you guys want me to roll out like a makeup workshop that kind of teaches you fundamentals or basics of how to show up with your makeup done for castings and digitals. Your typical poses are going to be front, side, three quarters, full body, close up. So this is kind of like a waist up um, type of close up beauty shot, and it's done in natural light. And you want to kind of capture the hair up, down, forward, back. So one side forward, one side back, all back. Clients want to see different ways that you can portray yourself. So a lot of these digitals that I took recently, a lot of my hair was in front and it became kind of distracting. So you want to pull it away for some images and let them see your features. And then this second half of the workshop is about self-tapes. So I want to talk about what self-tapes are. It's funny because I heard a story once that there was a self-tape requested from a talent, and they asked if they were supposed to put tape on their face. Excuse me, it's like a chai tea night here in Florida. Um, It is most certainly not that. It's really a tape of you videoing yourself. You can do it for auditions. Back in the day, you'd go to a casting and then you would get a call back, and you'd have to go to that same location again, maybe do a different tier of the audition. Maybe you're going to try on the clothes, or maybe you're going to read lines. But a self-tape can be done now, not in person again. They don't even have to meet you. They can just watch you on their laptops. So it has become increasingly essential skill. And I want you guys to kind of walk away from this workshop having a plan in mind for preparation. So what is a spot in your home that where you can confidently film self-tapes or take at-home digitals? Um, so they're just going to want to see a few things, maybe your walk. I've had people ask me random questions, like just to answer on tape, like what my summer plans were, or talk about my favorite vacation. And really, they're just trying to see how you carry yourself, your demeanor, how you talk. They might want you to read the lines. And if you're interested in runway, they might want to see your walk as well. So imagine this, guys, everybody with me. So let's say you submit for a job through 99, you're looking through the castings and they're asking for somebody that fits your role. And so you just submit it. You send your most recent headshot, your resume, maybe some portfolio images, and you apply for this job. And then the very next day, you're at work and you get an email in your inbox, and the client says, here is a media request alert. That's what Casting Networks likes to say. You have a new media request, um, and they want to get updated digitals and a self-tape by 12 p.m. tomorrow. So if you're like me or like most people who want to model or act, you have a whole full-time job, part-time job. Maybe you're a mother, maybe you are a caretaker. But I want you guys to be prepared that sometimes when you go for these things, the turnaround time is very short, and they want the requested materials back. So this is my question to you. What do you do? It's either going to be A or B. Review the requested materials and start making a plan to get it to them as soon as possible. Review the requested materials and start making a plan to get it to them right at noon tomorrow. What do you guys think? Is it A or B? I got a few A's, a lot of A's. Have you guys taken this workshop before? All right, you guys are really good. I thought I was gonna trick you guys, but yes. The reason why they'll say, "Oh, it's due tomorrow at noon." The reason why we submit as soon as possible is because if they're at their desk at 9 a.m. the next day, then the submissions are rolling in. They could have already made their decision by 11:59, and you just didn't get your materials to them fast enough. So, yes, we are busy. Yes, we have other things going on, but they could probably infer that the sooner you get it, the more committed you are to being the chosen one for this role. So, yes, decisions are made in seconds. Submitting before the deadline can be the difference between getting booked and overlooked. So, let's say it's a swimwear client and they want you to send recent swimwear digitals. The problem is you don't have any recent swimwear digitals, so you have to take some at home. So, I'm asking you guys, which one looks more professional, the white or the black? The white. Or the black? The black. 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 Exactly. And you will be surprised, and I'm glad you guys are kind of on the money tonight. But a lot of casting directors get material like this, where it's a mirror selfie or things are all crazy in the background. So never a mirror selfie, and we always want to have clear light. We want to have our facial features showing. We want to have a blank wall behind us as much as possible. So this is just an example that landed in my inbox. Trying to think. Yeah, see, Target self-tape instructions. So this was for like an Easter commercial. I remember filming all of these scenes, putting them all together, sending it off, and then I got a call back. And then I had like I'm not really I don't love to act. I feel silly sometimes acting. It's something that I have to get over, but I was very nervous for this and I got a call back and I never got the job, which is okay. I talk a lot about how we're never going to get every job. We're only going to get the jobs that are meant for us. So it's all about switching that mindset to be, hopeful versus hopeless. So if you guys had a chance to kind of skim through this, they basically give you all this information and they're there to help you. So it's never going to be vague. If anything, it's going to be way too detailed. So, my pro tip for you guys is when you get all of this, let's say you received this when you're at work, if you can sneak away for a little bit and write down in a bullet form that makes sense to you everything that they're requiring of you, everything that they're asking of you, because when you have it written down, you can refer to it really quickly, especially if you're reading this on your phone, but you're also going to be filming with your phone. You don't want to toggle back and forth. So get a hard copy piece of paper, old-fashioned pen and paper, and write it all down, jot it all down, and make sure you have a clear understanding of every single piece that is going to be required of you. Because if you send in a missing piece, they probably won't consider you for the job. So somebody had asked in the Q&A briefly, like, how do you get a full body shot? Well, this is some materials that you could invest in. My favorite is this little clicker. It's changed my life. I used to have just a tripod and I would put it on a self timer and I would frame it and everything. And then I would go click it and then I'd run back and hold the pose and wait for 10 seconds like a complete nerd before I ever realized that you just need a simple little clicker. It's about this big. You hold it in your hand very inconspicuously, and you can click it 30 times in like 30 seconds and get a picture for each second. Same with video. You can click when you're ready to record and when you're done. So, I always position it at eye level so you're not looking up or looking down. You will get the hang of it once you get a tripod. When you film and you want to get a good frame in, it's actually kind of going to be lower. And you want to stand in front of a lot of natural light and in front of a blank wall. And vertically is best for digitals and horizontally is best for videos. Let me repeat that. Vertically is best for digitals, horizontally is best for videos. Because most of these casting directors, if they're going to get a video of you and you filmed it vertically for whatever reason, when it translates onto the laptop, it shows up where they have to watch it like this. So always film your self-tapes vertically. Additional lighting sources that you can invest in, a ring light, a box light. I know a model who works so much in New York City. She has a whole setup of like a blue backdrop. She has all her box lights. She is working and she's doing fantastic, but she's had to really commit to it and get good at it. And it really just depends what kind of work you are trying to book. So these are my most recent digitals. The last time I taught this workshop, I told you guys that I was embarrassed because I hadn't taken recent digitals since probably August of the previous year. So I got back in and I brought a few different outfit options, and my agents and I decided that this black on black was going to be good. And we liked that it was a belly shirt because it had some sort of separation. Because if you do black on black, sometimes you can wash yourself out or not show. So I would say maybe like a gray t-shirt, a white t-shirt, a lighter black, and a darker jean, just so you have some separation. But if you have a crop top, then that's good too because it creates that separation. And then I was asked to send in some home digitals for a client. And these are what I came up with. And so this is very much the norm. A lot of people, when they're asking for at-home digitals, they know that they're not going to get something, something as professional as this. This is done at my agency. They have a white wall that's meant for digitals. So a few things in the background is okay, but ultimately you should aim to have it in front of a blank wall. These are some other examples that I pulled on the internet for at-home digitals, except that second one is me. That's baby Alecia when I was starting in 2016. And I was with my friend Mary, and I said, "Oh my God, I just checked my email, and this client is asking for digitals on me. Do you mind snapping a few pictures?" And so we took a painting off her wall. It was right next to a window, and we just snapped a few, and then I sent it off. These are some other examples too. They just look so cool, like with a little lean up against the wall. Like that's really cool. So get creative. And I love how this girl shot in front of a brick wall, wore some shorts to show off a little leg. So again, I could give you all the best practices of doing digitals and say, oh, wear this color or wear this color. And all that information is out there. But at the end of the day, you really just have to be yourself. But one thing I will tell you, and uniformly of all of these, is it's solid colors. So we don't want to do stripes, bright colors, patterns. I've done digitals in a dress before, but I would advise maybe just jeans and a t-shirt would be best. But we're wrapping up phase one of the workshop. We're about halfway through. Send me some fire emojis if you guys are still with me. But we're going to just wrap up that first half and then we're going to get into more of the logistics of filming your self-tape. So just to wrap up, your digitals are the very first impression a client or agency gets of you. So they are your foot in the door and they should be treated as such. And professional expectations of a model or actor is that you update these Polaroids, these digitals as often as you can. And the reason I say is because you will improve and get more comfortable with it each time you try. So my agent in New York had sent out like a brief at the beginning of the year, just reminding us some things. And one thing he taught me that I didn't really realize is he says, if we're submitting the same pictures of you to the casting directors, they're going to see the same pictures time after time for different roles. Um, and so the best thing that you can do is give us more material, shoot more test shoots more often, do more digitals more often, and watch too how you improve over time and get more comfortable. And I also want you guys to prepare too for your next callback. If you do have a request, think and look at your home and say, okay, where is the best lighting? Maybe I have to go outside. Maybe I have to do it in the parking garage. Maybe I have to do it in front of my garage. Maybe I have to do it in front of my fence. I've done digitals outdoor too. So try to kind of look at your space and see what is going to work the best for you. This is an example self-tape request from a sunglass company. And this is copied and pasted directly from the email. So as you can see, they give you so much information where you won't have to question really anything. And I think that that's the great part because they want you to be successful and they don't want to waste their time looking through stuff that's not giving them what they're looking for. So they give you and tell you exactly what they're looking for. Do a full body shot with and without glasses, looking to the left, right, and center. They even attached an example. So here we go. I'm going to play the example.
I put that on my hood. I look like I look good. You can take my bag, but you good. I look like I look good.
So, as you can see, she took different scenes and cut them into one video because it's not one continuous flow. She cut out blank or dead space or a transition that wasn't helping her case and only
I
highlighted
put that
the very
on
bad.
my hood. I look
Cut,
like good. You can take my
cut.
bag, but you good. I look like I look good.
So the good news is I'm going to teach you guys how to do that, or at least I'm going to teach you how I do that. But that video was maybe 10 seconds, and that's really all they need sometimes as long as you are following the directions. But as you can see, I don't know if anybody got this. Their very first instruction was please slate your name close up and then a full body. So, does anybody know what a slate is? Or I guess raise your hands if you've never heard of a slate. All right, so a slate is a common thing in our industry. It's just a brief camera introduction. Typically, it's hi, I'm Alicia D. I'm based in Miami. I'm 5'11" and I'm with Select Models. Something very simple. Now, for actors, they want to know whether you are union or non-union. But if they want you to slate your name, it's going to be very basic. Hi, my name is so and so. I'm this height. I'm based in this location and who you're with. So I'm with 99. You can also do a slate on a piece of paper. Some people like to have these images so when they print out all the models that they're making to their next phase of auditions, they have a still image. So they're going to be very specific with you. This particular picture that I took was for a client who told me to slate my name on a piece of paper to give my social media and my agent only. So pay attention to that and practice your slate a little bit or look up on YouTube how different people slate. But it's the very first test in auditioning. So if you blow the slate, they're probably going to skip to the next. And like I said, they can vary. So you want to make sure that you're checking all the boxes. And then another tip is to hold the expression or smile for 2 seconds before you cut the slate. So you don't want to just like, hi, I'm Alicia, and then cut. Kind of want to then give a little smile, do your little thing, and then cut. Helpful advice is to think of your self-tape as your audition room. Treat them with intention, professionalism, and care, and put effort into them. People can tell when something is low effort, low energy. So lighting, sound, framing, and your overall performance is really going to add up to show your commitment. And even if you're not good for this job that they're casting for, it's good to get their eyes on you. So let's say you get a job audition that you're really not interested in. If you have the time, just submit anyway, because you never know where that could lead you. Or if you do get it, who you could meet on set and what doors that could open for you. So, some more on self tapes. Film above your waist, like waist up, unless otherwise specified. Read directions thoroughly, write it all down. I did talk to you guys about that. And most importantly, film in natural light. So right now it's 7:34 in the evening. I can't really do a self-tape right now unless I had all of those box light setups or that ring light, and I probably could make it work. But if you can, aim to do it in natural lights. And then a blue or green background. If you're reading lines and wanting to be in commercials and really act, consider looking up on Amazon like a little blue or green backdrop that you can buy to tape on the wall or hang up. Whitewashes people out and it just shows again that level of commitment to your skill, to your craft. Common mistakes to avoid: bad lighting, poor framing. Does everybody know what constitutes a poor frame? So if I'm teaching the whole workshop, sorry, my camera's gonna follow me wherever I go, but if I'm teaching the workshop where you can see the ceiling, you know, it's not really a good frame. So you want to make sure that this is don't have any blank space. Too much blank space around would be poor framing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Over editing. So don't edit your pictures. We don't want to misrepresent ourselves. Low energy or no personality. One thing I've learned in this industry is you really have to turn it on, no matter what's going on or how crazy your week has been, you really have to turn on that star inside of you, all right? Bad sound quality, so if you have neighbors yelling, music, cars, motorcycles, whatever's going on, learn how to edit that out or wait and see if you can maybe fix that sound quality at a later time. Camera out of focus or not cleaning the lens. I think a lot of problems could be solved of blurry images if we just cleaned our lens, just a little wipe. I wiped my laptop lens before I went on to this. You just want that clear, crisp. We don't want a foggy haze over our images. And be a perfectionist. All details matter. So if you can, film several takes and meticulously select the best one. Worst comes to worst, you'll end up with a lot of funny bloopers that you could make a social media post about, where people can see like the real, raw, authentic you. That sells, that books, just so you know. We talk about that in my social media workshop. Um, but yeah, the first thing I always do is do like a test and I watch it back before I tape the entire thing. And I usually do like 5 or 6 takes and then I'll go through my phone and I'll favorite all the ones that resonate most with me that I feel like I did a good job and then I compile them all together. Actors and scenes and monologues for my actors. How many actors do we have in here? Raise your hand. That was quick. All right, let's go. So let's say you get a call back and it gives you a scene. That is going to be part of a story at a specific time and place between specific characters, in which case you will need a reader. And so the reader is going to be somebody who's going to read that other line so you can film the scene, but they're not going to be right next to you. They're going to be off camera. They're going to be further away from the camera so that their sound doesn't trump yours. And that is how we film a scene. So if you guys are just beginning your 9-9 journey as actors and actresses, make sure you have somebody who's down to read lines for you when you have a callback audition. And then a monologue, of course, is just a long speech performed by one person. So that would be easy. You wouldn't need any help. And then one trick too is obviously try your best to memorize the material before taping. But again, we have quick turnarounds. Sometimes you don't have time. And I think that casting directors really understand that it's not going to be your best performance if it's a quick turnaround. But again, it's going to show effort. But if you simply just don't have it all together to memorize everything, I don't want you guys to hold back and not audition. I want you guys to really focus on the beginning and the end. And studies show that if you can deliver something really strongly in the beginning that gets their attention and close it off really strongly, then you have better odds of getting the job if you don't know all of your lines. If you have to refer to your lines and you have them on a piece of paper, I don't have a piece of paper in front of me. But I don't want to hold it up in front of my nose and look down. So if this is the camera here, I'm going to hold it behind the camera and I'm going to quickly glance and I'm going to make my notes so that I have little reminders of what line comes next. All right, so that is a little bit for my actors in here because I know that most of my material is on modeling, but You actors are brilliant and really talented. So I wanted to give you these key points filmed horizontally, filmed horizontally, filmed horizontally. We remember that, right? Your eye line is going to be off camera. It's never going to be dead center staring while you deliver your lines. And in that case, you want to just look a little bit off camera while you're performing. Make sure your readers are heard clearly in the distance and make sure your slate is friendly and approachable. So I'm going to play this for you guys. Very impressed by her from Stranger Things. She is a great actress.
My name is Natalia Dyer. I'm Sharon Smith, and I'm 5'3".
So if anybody has anything to get off their chest before we pray, now's the time.
Well, I have this friend who won't even sit with us at lunch because we're Christians.
Yeah, Brody.
Look, it's not because you're Christians. It's because you're a coalition of social misfits.
You act like you don't even know us.
That's because you act like you're better than anyone else. I'd rather use my lunchtime to study, just so I wouldn't end up in some pathetic JC like Mar. No offense, Dawn.
So as you can see, she doesn't really have a lot of lines. Sometimes they'll give you these snippets where there's more lines from the reader because they want to see what your expressions are going to be and what your body language is going to say rather than memorizing all the lines. So that was her audition. And those were the readers that were off camera. So as far as editing and sending, I use Instagram app to plug all of my video in as if I'm making a reel. And they have tools where you can trim and it will just basically take each video and put them in order and save it as one long video so you can send it in. And I've had callbacks where they say this video and this whole audition can't be any longer than 2 minutes. So it's really helpful to get everything together and trim it down. Now, with that being said, with this editing software, you don't want to add in filters, special effects, words, music. It's all unnecessary and it might not help you. It might hurt you. So just keep it clean, keep it necessary. Uh, and how to send. So, have any of you guys ever tried to send a file through an email attachment? So most of the time it says, oh, it's too big. So have you guys heard of WeTransfer or Dropbox? A lot of these casting companies will give you a Dropbox link where you'll just click on the link and you'll drop your file into their Dropbox. That being said, your file name can't be some random slew of numbers. So you have to make sure that you go in and name it what they want you to name it. So I had the privilege of doing a self-tape for L'Oreal not too long ago, and they specifically told me that if I did not name my files, that I would not, my audition would not be seen. So that's one way that they do it. Or you can go on to wetransfer.com. I urge you guys to check it out tonight. You can upload 100 images if you wanted to. The WeTransfer will then compile it into a link. Once it's done, you copy that link and you send that link, and the receiver is able to click on that link and have access to all of those images. So those are like the most easiest process for technology of how we share our audition tapes. Um, and yeah, get right to the scene itself. Cut out any silence or long pauses. And yeah, that's basically it on editing and sending. Does anybody have any questions? Because we're going to go right into our game that I promised you guys. But I believe we have a few minutes for questions. So if anything is popping up or if you have any feedback that you want me to share and read with the group, let me know. Thank you all. I'm just seeing all your fire emojis now. You guys are the best. There are apps you can use to plug in a monologue and it talks with you. That's cool. No, WeTransfer is completely free. Somebody asked if, or Yvonne asked. Any suggestions for booking an agent? Make sure that they see you and that they love you. And that's one proposed workshop that I've been working on is maybe talking about the agent talent relationship and expectations of both and how to communicate for effectively for business. I think that that's a topic that a lot of people could use education on. What is the name of that app? WeTransfer, Instagram. So it's WeTransfer is a website. It's an uploading website where they'll give you that link. Oh, the one that reads with you. Yvonne, if you don't mind, will you let us know who was it that asked or that told us? Sorry, now I can't find your comment. What is the app that reads the monologue aloud with you? If you can share that, and I will share it with the group. Clarify, please. Vertical equals digi and horizontal equals video. Correct. Okay, so the app is called Aside. Aside. I don't send links to my presentation. I believe that they send recordings out after. But also I offer these on a rotating basis. So you can always come back and join us and get a refresher, or I advise taking notes. But come back, I would love to have you. All right, let's get into our game. So this is a red flag, green flag activity. And we're all going to pretend that we are a casting director and we are judging self-tapes that are sent in. So is it going to be a red flag or a green flag? Does everybody know the difference between a red flag and a green flag? Red flag is like, whoo, that's a warning. This person is not professional or um, isn't going to isn't going to get the job. And a green flag is like, oh, okay, we want to hire this person who's auditioning. Are we ready? It's going to be like rapid fire. Using natural window light during the day to film your submissions. Green light or red light, or green flag or red flag. Okay, green, 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 green. We got a green heart. We got a green firework. Awesome. Adding background music to your tape. Green flag or red flag. Red flag, red flag, red flag. We don't want to do music. It's distracting. Because I know that that video that I shared with you guys earlier had music in the background, and that was like an example that they sent. But I would really shy away from adding in any music to the background of your tape. Wearing logos or patterned clothing for your digitals or self tapes. Don't do music unless asked. Correct. And yes, that is a red flag. Keeping your eye line just off camera when reciting lines. Green flag, green flag. Filming with light that casts harsh shadows on the face. Red flag. Background clutter, plants, furniture, posters. Red, red, red. Yes. Now, doesn't mean you have to be absolutely perfect. I mean, I don't mind a plant, but we don't want it to be too cluttered. Like we don't want to see like your nightstand with your chapstick and your glass of water. Anything that's going to kind of show your vibe a little bit, so if the color of your wall is mint green or beige, that's okay. Um, if you have a light switch or something, you might be able to edit it out, but that's okay, right? Because they understand that they're being taken at home and we're doing the best that we can. Slating with good energy and confidence. That is a green flag. Okay, now adding a personal comment at the end of your self-tape, like, thanks for watching. Is that a green or a red? I would say that's a red flag because it's extra information and it's not needed. You want to cut that out. It might come out because you're nervous and you say, okay, well, thanks. I hope I get to work with you guys and I hope I get to meet you and I hope you book me and I hope that I get to work for you guys. And that might come out, but you don't want to put that in there. We're doing this with good energy and confidence, in which case we don't have to thank them for watching. They should thank us for auditioning. Okay? Holding your smile or expression for 2 seconds after your slate. Is that a green or a red flag? That is a green flag, yes, because we're saying a statement and then we want to end it with some warm energy to really seal the deal. Oh, we missed one. Wearing heavy makeup for digitals. I'm talking full on face beat, if you know what I mean, ladies. The eyelashes, the eyeliner, the eyeshadow, the lip gloss. Is that a red flag or a green flag? That's going to be a red flag. Yeah, dial it back. Super natural, super pretty, super clean. Reading directions and writing them down before you start taping. Is that a green flag or a red flag? That is a green flag. You really want to have a good list for yourself, a good understanding. Make sure you comprehend everything they're asking and you can quickly refer to it on a piece of paper. And that also helps the taping process go quick because, like I said, we all are busy. So if you want to bang out a self tape and spend 45 minutes taping and then go on about your day and check it off as a task on your list, or you want to spend 3 hours, is up to you. But I think that the most time efficient way is to make yourself a little list of what you need to tape and what you need to get done. Submitting a tape 3 hours before the deadline. So they want it at 6 p.m. the next day, or they're due by 6 p.m. and you submit it at 3 p.m. Is that a green flag or a red flag? That's going to be a green flag, green flag, green flag. As soon as possible is the rule of thumb. Sometimes their decision is already made by the deadline. Okay, so they didn't ask you to do it in a British accent, but you decided to deliver one of your lines in a British accent just so you could show your range as an actor. Is that a red flag or a green flag? Red flag, yeah, probably make them laugh. But red flag. Dedicating time so you can do multiple takes. Because sometimes, very rarely, is my first take the one that I go with. I usually like little bits of pieces of each take. And then by the end of watching them all over again, I'm like, I've had all the practice. I say, okay, this is the good one now. Um, I'm ready to go. So that might take, an extra 15 minutes to do multiple takes, but it is a green flag. Wild nails or distracting jewelry. So you have a big choker on or a big chain, big old earrings that are making noises, and you got your nails done in cheetah print. Is that a green flag or a red flag? Unfortunately for this, it's a red flag. because natural is the name of the game because they want to be able to dress you up. So they need to see what they're working with when all of that is peeled back. So if you're somebody who likes to dye your hair green, great. But for the process of auditioning for jobs and roles, you really need to give them a more blank canvas. So maybe temporary dye that washes out so you could just rock it for the weekends. Keeping your look close to your natural bookable self. So if I just submitted to a job, but then the next day I have an appointment at the hair salon to cut 4 inches off my hair and put highlights in it, is that probably those pictures are not going to be my natural bookable self. So this one is a little vague, but yes, you always want to keep in mind that there should be a baseline for your look. And it's really hard because I want to get cheetah nails and I can't. I always have to stay natural because I could have a job next week. And so I don't want to waste time going to the nail salon and taking it off and getting it redone. So I just stay with my baseline natural, bookable. Submitting a selfie in response to a digital request. Is that a red flag or a green flag? That is a red flag. No selfies unless they specifically ask for it. And so that being said, I have had clients say, send us a selfie with no makeup on so we can see your skin texture and tone. Um, Send us a selfie with your hair tucked back so we can see all of your features because we are doing a jewelry commercial for these earrings and we need to see like your look with your hair behind in a ponytail. So the selfie is never going to be the default. Images like this, um, confident, relaxed, and a good representation of what you look like in your natural state. Natural light is going to get you more work. And that concludes our workshop, Self Tapes and Digitals, that book. And I really hope you guys learned a lot. I failed you and I didn't write down my upcoming workshops, but I know that I'm doing one on Saturday. And if I had to take a guess, I think that it's called Staying Inspired in a Competitive Industry because imagine if you did start this and then you heard no 10 times. Would you give up or would you want practical ways where you can stay inspired and keep one foot in front of the other? Keep going. That's really what that workshop is. It's very motivational. It's one big powwow. So if you guys are not busy on Saturday, it's going to be 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so noon. So pretty sure I could get up and check really quick, but I want you guys to look at the calendar and let me know if you see it. I could also pull it up here. But I had such a great time with you guys tonight. And I hope to see you guys again. Now I'm super stuck on finding this out. I'll be right back. I know where I wrote it down. Yes. Okay. So that is correct. And then the following Monday, we have a workshop on skincare. If you guys are not busy on Monday nights and you want to come learn about taking care of your skin so you can present really good on camera and feel really confident in your skin. So, what a day it's been. Thank you so much for investing in yourself and attending this workshop. Um, Very, very thrilled to be back. I've been gone for 2 weeks because I've been moving. But yeah, so you guys had your calendars right in front of you all along. So hopefully I will see you guys in a couple days and I will see you then. If not, best of luck to you and I will hopefully catch you guys in another workshop. Have a really good night and yeah, keep at it. You guys got this. Good night.